mind-body problem has puzzled philosophers and scientists for thousands of years. Essentially, it asks, what's the relationship between the mind and the physical world? Why do we experience anything at all? Philosopher David Chalmers coined the term the hard problem of consciousness in 1996. His point? Figuring out how neurons in the brain work is challenging, but it's still easier than understanding how consciousness arises from matter. How can something physical, like the brain, produce something as non-physical as awareness? In recent years, a new approach to this mystery has emerged, called the resonance theory of consciousness. Developed by scientists like Jonathan Schooler at UC Santa Barbara, this theory suggests that consciousness is linked to the concept of resonance, or, in simpler terms, synchronized vibrations.
This is Chris. Welcome to the world's first GYATT Fortnite podcast, where I'm the only person who thinks your loadout says more about you than your zodiac sign. Technically, someone else might already have a Fortnite podcast, but in the spirit of Fortnite, I upgraded the podcast rarity. I added mobility, and I'll be swapping out my loadout mid-episode. Doesn't that sound just amazing? You know, talk is cheap because the supply exceeds the demand. But in Fortnite's economy, the GYATT Fortnite podcast episodes' words are worth their weight in gold. That's right. Fortnite is one App Store denial away from releasing an entire storyline inside Rocket League instead. You know, this season is so dry. My back bling came with a hydration warning. Seriously, there's more drama between Fortnite and Apple than there is in the actual Star Wars content right now. We got Darth Vader AI. I'll tell you what, if I had a force ability in real life, it'd be force quit, because I'm mentally exiting this season at least twice a match. And if you're ready, let's dive in. Before moving on, I just want to let our listeners know that we're currently trying to build our following on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Small independent podcasts like this one need all the support we can get to survive. Sharing, liking, commenting on socials, and reposting on TikTok and X, and following on social media is greatly appreciated and helps keep this afloat during turbulent times. Thank you. The Force is mid. I'm not saying Fortnite has lost the plot, but if you can find the plot, please ping it because I've been wandering around this Star Wars mini season like a stormtrooper with a broken map. And just like the stormtroopers in the movies, hitting nothing, feeling everything. Don't get me wrong. I wanted this. I prayed for force powers, mythics, dual sabers. I even dreamed of an Ahsoka arc that would make me cry in the storm. But instead, we got vibes. Just vibes. There's no momentum, no stakes. Just lightsabers duct taped to mythics and some sound effects recycled from better days. Because this Star Wars season, let's not lie, okay? It's basically a mood board with no follow through. There's no narrative, no stakes, just a blaster to the face and an empty feeling where a story arc should be. And I love Star Wars. I live for the lore. But this ain't it. This is force fatigue. And I know Epics got better in them. I know they do. But right now, it's like watching your favorite show slowly forget its own name. But they dropped, and they're going to drop, this Champions of Mandalore. There's a whole entire bundle coming. You'll be able to customize your character. I mean, for a brief second, I felt something. Seriously, a customizable skin that actually feels like it belongs in my locker. Dark visor, shoulder plates that look like they've seen things, pain, glory, a reboot van at sunrise. This might be the only thing keeping me emotionally invested in a season that feels like it's running on blue juice and denial. Meanwhile, Apple is still playing Fortnite like it's their ex. Like, what's going on? Ignoring calls? Ghosting the platform? They're literally waiting for a higher court to tell them what to do. What is this? Judge Judy? Battle Royale? Oh. Here we go. And Nintendo Switch 2 is teasing mouse support with their new Joy-Con tech. That means the kid who used to lose in build fights after his bus ride home from school is about to full clip you on a school-issued Chromebook. Console chaos is coming, and PlayStation better get real creative fast. Load the bus. We need to talk. You ever land somewhere in Fortnite and feel like you've been there before? Even when you haven't. That's not nostalgia. That's not muscle memory. That's resonance doing its job. You see, Fortnite isn't built on walls and loot chests. Might look like, but not really. It's built on vibrations. The way someone once crouch walked across a rooftop. The way your duo laughed when you impulsed them into a tree. The way you clutched with 12 HP and started believing in God again. Every action leaves a frequency, and every location absorbs it. You don't need lore to feel it. You just need stillness. It's the reason why a lot of us still play this game. That's what this whole episode is about. The moments that don't get clipped. The kill trades that taught you more than any victory royale. The way the storm sounds when it passes over a memory. Resonance. Let's talk about it. We'll start with where we land. There are places on the Fortnite map right now. Outlaw Oasis, First Order Base, Foxy Floodgate, that feel louder than they look. And not loud in the sense of gunfire or footsteps, but emotionally loud. Like your soul flinches before your character ever takes damage. You land, and something in your chest vibrates, like your body's remembering something your mind never experienced. That's what resonance is. It's not a memory, it's a frequency repeating itself. Maybe from a past life, maybe from someone else's, maybe from you a week ago who got eliminated before grabbing a single weapon. That grief, that confusion, still stored in the dirt of that POI. You drop in again and you're going to feel it. Not because you're traumatized, but because the island never forgets. You see, Fortnite remembers what we don't. It remembers the time you stayed in the storm to revive your teammate.
Anyway.
But it's the truth. It remembers the first time you emoted before finishing someone and felt bad about it. It remembers the impulse grenades that made you laugh so hard you missed your shot. These aren't stories. They're reverberations. Energy still bouncing off the walls of the island. The game updates. The POIs, sometimes, the good ones, they rotate. But the resonance, it lingers. And some of us are just more tuned in than others. You ever stand still in Fortnite? I don't mean wait in a bush or hide in a dumpster. I mean really stand still. Maybe you put your controller down, you're grabbing some food real quick, or maybe just you're like, you know what? Nothing right now. Nothing. Okay? So, you stand still and you're on the roof of a lonely cottage. And let's say you're in Magic Mosses, on the bridge by Foxy, on the highest mountain as the storm closes. And with absolute certainty that you're not making it out alive from your location, how you got to rotate. You got a large body of water in front of you. You're like, how am I going to get around this? Those are the moments where the game begins to hum. It's like stepping inside a song you didn't know you knew. Maybe it's the wind pattern. Maybe it's the soft rattle of nearby loot. Maybe it's nothing at all except the silence of you just existing in a place that remembers more than you do. The island holds frequency like stone holds heat. And that's why the longer you play Fortnite, the weirder it gets. You don't just play matches anymore. You relive loops. You sense things. You feel emotions before they logically arrive. You step into places and immediately you just feel cautious, even though no one's there. You hear shots from 2 clicks away and your fingers move before your brain does. You walk into a building, you pause, and you think something happened here. You don't know what, but you know. That's resonance. It's the aftershock of someone else's moment. And guess what? Fortnite is full of them. You don't have to believe in ghosts to believe in frequency. You just have to believe you've ever heard something that wasn't there. You ever hear the echo of a sniper that's already fired? The rustle of a tree that just stopped moving? You ever get to a loot pile and feel remorse? Like seriously, there's no stat for that. No notification, no damage counter. But you feel it, right? You see that loot pile, you see that somebody is pissed. You see a couple legendaries, you see a couple epics, you see a full stack of heals, maybe some bouncers, maybe a med kit. You pick up a med kit and it's weird, but it still feels like warm. You take the shotgun and it feels heavier than usual, like it remembers the hands that dropped it. You reboot your teammate and something in the air goes still. And it feels, at least to me sometimes, like the island's holding its breath. This is not superstition. This is Fortnite as an emotional field. The island, without no doubt, just like Earth, the island is alive. Not with blood or breath, but with pulses, with waves, with memory so strong it shapes future behavior. You think people land at the same POIs every game because of loot? No, hell no. They land because of feeling, because of echo, because of that one match 3 weeks ago where everything just went right. And they've been trying to feel that vibration again ever since. Well, unless there's a blue chest that always pops up right where you need it to be. Now, here's the kicker. You're not just feeling resonance, you're creating it. Every time you make a choice, you leave behind a frequency. Every time you panic build, or thirst a player, or toss a med kit to a stranger in Team Rumble, you're adding to a soundscape of frequencies. Fortnite is not a battle royale. It's more like a choir. And we all have different voices, different vibrations, different keys that we speak in. And the decisions you make, they don't disappear. They actually get sung forward so other people feel it. Sometimes you hear it later in the quiet buzz of a vending machine, in the crackle of a rift, in the weird stillness of a place where someone disconnected mid-flight and probably just never came back. These are not coincidences. These are chords. There's a theory I've been working on, and I call it the resonant theory of Fortnite. It's simple, really. Everything in Fortnite echoes. If you laugh in a match, someone else gets braver. If you rage quit, guess what? Someone else loads in faster to another game. If you spray paint a wall before dying, the next person sees it and stops for half a second and maybe doesn't even take the shot. Or maybe they'll just spray paint over whatever you did. You think that these are all random, and that's the lie. Fortnite is a system of invisible chords. Some people play them. Others get played by them. Resonance isn't about being remembered. It's about being felt. And right now, there are thousands of moments from thousands of players bouncing around the map, waiting to be picked up like stray radio signals. You don't need to be a streamer to broadcast. You don't need a microphone. You just need an emotion strong enough to imprint the land. That's all it takes. Because Fortnite listens and the land responds. You ever wonder why some fights feel epic, even when nothing happens? You miss every shot. You both reload awkwardly. You double back and mantle up the wrong wall. You go right over it just to come right back over it again. And still, your heart is pounding like you're playing in the FNCS finals. Why? Because the frequency was charged, not the fight itself, but the moment. You knew without knowing how that this mattered, that if you clutched up here, something would shift in you, that if you lost here, you'd carry it for the rest of the day, or maybe longer. That's not logic. That's resonance, the invisible weight we assign to things we don't understand. And in Fortnite, those moments are everywhere. Take the storm, for example. It's more than a gameplay mechanic. It's a cleansing force. It rolls in, not just to push you, but to bury memory, to reset vibration, When the storm passes over a location, it doesn't just shrink the map, it silences echoes. That's why it feels peaceful sometimes. That's why standing in it, even briefly, feels like stepping into a memory that isn't yours. It's not killing you, it's washing the noise off you. And when you emerge, new circle, new fight, new chance, you are retuned. Fortnite isn't punishing you, it's reminding you how to listen. Now, I know someone listening is going to ask, yo, Chris, are you just making all this up? Yeah, but also no. Because if you played this game long enough, you felt it too. You've walked into a gunfight and known in your bones you were going to lose. You've landed somewhere random and felt completely at home. You've emoted at an enemy and they didn't shoot. And for a second, the game broke its rules. How do you explain that? Not with patch notes, not with metas, but with resonance. The silent architecture of feeling that sits underneath every shot, every rotation, every risk you take. I think the future of Fortnite isn't new mechanics or bigger collabs. It'll probably be deeper feeling because the game has already mastered motion. Now it's learning emotion. The map is shifting towards soul. Magic Mosses? That place vibrates like an open wound. Outlaw Oasis? It doesn't feel new. It feels like something buried got uncovered. And what about those sprite shrines? That black market by the tree roots? Tell me that isn't ancient, like the island's beginning to speak. Not in words, but in frequency. And only the tuned in can hear. So, what do we do with this? How do we play the game differently? Maybe we start by paying attention to the way you feel before you land, to the way you move when no one's watching, to the way you start sprinting toward a fight, then stop, not out of fear, but intuition. Because the game is whispering to you, not through text, not through an NPC, but through feeling. And if you get quiet enough, you could respond. You could play in harmony. Or you could create dissonance on purpose. Either way, you're not just dropping in. You're adding to the song. So, here we go. Next time someone says Fortnite is just a game, tell them, yeah, sure. Just a game. Just a game that makes you feel seen in places you didn't know were visible. Just a game that lets you mourn strangers. Just an average game that lets you glitch across dimensions of self. Maybe, never know, maybe just the only game out there that lets you rage, laugh, dance, fail, and echo. All in 20 minutes. Like, seriously, you're not going to get this in another game. So tell them it's just a game. But tell them to stand still in Magic Mosses at dusk and listen. Tell them to watch the storm roll across a lonely reboot van and feel how that silence trembles. Tell them to crouch behind or beside an old loot pile and hear the footsteps that aren't there anymore. You know what? Just tell them it's just a game. Then ask them why it keeps calling them back. Why it never really feels empty. Why, when they're not playing, they sometimes still hear it. That's resonance. And it's louder than ever. You've been listening to the GYATT Fortnite podcast. And today, you didn't just drop in. You tuned in. And I'll see you on the next frequency. This is Chris. Thanks for tuning in to the world's first GYATT Fortnite podcast. Until next time, keep your shields up, your emotes ready, and remember, it's all about how you see the game. So right now we have about 20 days left of this season, and I don't know what to say. It's really a mixed bag of feelings. While I totally appreciate the AI, and I was actually wondering when Fortnite would actually incorporate some version of AI, I'm expecting to actually see a lot more from this. And maybe I'll come back with another episode with my take about AI and where I see it evolving with Fortnite. Now, if you'd like to follow me on social media, you definitely can. On TikTok, you can follow me at GYATT Fortnite Podcast. And on X, at GYATT Fortcast. And if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, maybe a drink, you can, using Cash App at $Chris Freshier. All that information is in the show notes. I'm expecting these next 3 weeks to be something we haven't seen yet. And I totally believe and have faith, or the Empire is just going to come after us. And with that, I'll see everybody soon.